What's up, everybody? We're going to talk about fasting. What is it and what can it do for you? So fast forward to my mid and late 20s, and at this time I'm getting big into health and fitness. I'm doing a lot of CrossFit, a lot of MMA, and a lot of people in those circles were doing something called the Paleo diet. So I tried the Paleo diet, and it's the first time in my life that I had ever put effort into eating a clean diet, eating high quality foods. And I noticed improvements right away, like the very next day. One, I lost some weight. Two, my mental clarity was super improved. I could really pay attention. My attention span went up, and my energy levels went up as well. But also my chronic injuries, where I would feel pain in my shoulder and other parts of my body, went down quite noticeably. And so I knew there was something to eating a clean diet and higher quality foods. But timing was still something that was holding me back, that I wasn't aware of at the time. There were times where, even though I was eating fairly clean or clean most of the time, I would still get brain fog, and I would still get periods like after eating, or if I would eat too many times throughout the day, where I would feel sluggish or have less energy. At the time, I wasn't aware of the relationship between consuming foods, insulin, and glucose levels, and how that affects the way you feel and the way that you think. But we're not going to get too deep into that today. Okay, so after learning and trying the paleo diet, I do more research and I'm learning about fasting and intermittent fasting, and I decided to give my first 24-hour fast a shot. And so I set a timer on my watch, 24-hour countdown, have my last bite, go into it, and maybe somewhere in the first 8 hours, I think I'm hungry, but I'm not really hungry, so I decide to just push through it. I get into the evening, and maybe there's a little bit of hunger there, but it wasn't too bad. I go to sleep, wake up the next day, I hit the 24-hour mark, and surprise, surprise, I never felt starved. I never felt starved, and also, I never had a post-meal crash where you go to lunch and then you feel all sluggish and you're slow at work or can't really think at school. I did not experience that, and also my mental clarity was up the whole time. So, cool thing, it took me 30 years to learn this lesson, but I could have learned it in 24 hours anytime during those first 30 years, is that I had this incredible gift waiting for me. And it didn't take long to learn this discipline to not be controlled by hunger. And also, this switch that was available to me anytime that I could just turn on and kick on these benefits of burning fat, increased mental clarity, increased productivity, because the time that you are not cooking, eating, and cleaning dishes can go to other things like making a YouTube video about fasting. And autophagy. Autophagy is your body's way of repairing its cells. It's almost like a car that could repair itself. If the tires are old, get rid of the old tires, put on some brand new ones, change the oil, do all the maintenance that's required. Where our body does that, and one way to kick that on is through fasting. And so all this stuff was available to me anytime I wanted to, and it starts as soon as I finished my last bite. So hunger no longer had a chain around my neck. I looked at food as fuel, and I can choose it for fuel when I want, and I can choose it for pleasure when I want. I still eat yummy things like everybody else. And you know what's the cool thing? You get all those benefits, all that awesomeness for this much money. It's completely free, and it's available to you anytime. What happens when you fast? One, your insulin levels drop. So your body now turns to fat for energy. Bonus, energy and fat loss. Now your digestive system gets a rest, and your cells start repairing themselves. That's the autophagy I was talking about earlier. Fasting, in a nutshell, is intentional breaks from eating. So it's not a diet, but rather a pattern. Okay, it's not restriction, it's timing. And humans have been doing it for thousands of years. Let's talk about some of the benefits to fasting. Improved energy, appetite control. You are now the master of your appetite. Your appetite does not control you any longer. Mental clarity. You become Professor Charles Xavier from the X-Men. Maybe not that great, but it's pretty good. You're gonna save a bunch of time on cleaning and dishes and all that crap, so you don't have to do that. You can put that time and effort on other things. You increase your metabolic health, and your risk for diabetes goes way down. Fat loss and weight management becomes a lot easier, so you're bringing sexy back, and it's more gooder this time, so watch out, summer, here I come. So all of this stuff is totally worth exploring, but go talk to your doctor first, because I don't give medical advice. How do you fast? Well, stop eating, that's the first part, and don't consume calories. So if you're gonna drink, it's water, black coffee, or plain tea. No sugar, no cream. A lot of people start with a 12-hour fast, so you can pick something like 7 to 7 or 9 to 9. Make sure you drink water and hydrate enough, and when you finish your fast, don't reward yourself with a giant cheesecake, just eat a normal meal. I wouldn't jump into one of the bigger fasts like a 24-hour fast or a 72-hour fast. I would start small and work your way up. You can go from a 12-hour fast, then move your way up to 14 or maybe a 16-hour fast. And the thing about a 16-hour fast, it's really not as hard as you think, because hopefully you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep. And all you have to do is stop eating 4 hours before going to bed and 4 hours after waking up, and voila, 16 hours has passed. And let's remember that fasting is a tool, it's not a requirement. So if you don't hit your goals perfectly every time, not a big deal, give yourself some slack and just keep at it, because the benefits will keep coming. I love fasting. Fasting gave me clarity, discipline, and a freedom that I didn't know that I had. And if you're curious, give it a shot. Pay attention to how your body responds, and you may be surprised what you're capable of. All right, everyone, that's it for today, and we'll catch you on the next one.